The RTX 2060 coming back. What?
Yes.
Interesting. I just bought a 3060 off a scalper. Would this have
Yeah.
solved my problems?
So I sent you a link to an article here, and you were saying how you thought it said 3060 is coming back. Didn't I just buy one?
Okay, let me preface this. This is a 12 gig 2060, so a new version of the 2060.
Yes.
So not the old one, a new 2060. And I'm just going to turn on my screen there. Okay, we're all good. Yeah, so a new version of the 2060.
I'm actually kind of excited for this. So this is the previous generation RTX line from Nvidia. Of course, it's not the latest and greatest, I think, Ampere, but it's the Turing, if I'm correct. It seems to be being based upon, actually, if it's correct, possibly, this is kind of like rumors at this point, so this is for sure, but it may be being produced from modified, like basically 1660 Ti boards, and then we have 12 gigs of RAM, and
yeah,
this actually, so this still appeals to me. So they're doing this potentially to, it seems like they may already have excess stock of these boards that can be used for this, and they could use it to help alleviate the shortage of GPUs. Because the 2060 is still a decent card for gaming. Like, it's not bad.
Yeah.
And maybe not for ray tracing and stuff, but it would do ray tracing. But regardless of that, it's still, because I was also looking for a 3060, but now this could fill a gap for me, because I was wanting a 3060 for actually the 12 gigs of VRAM for video editing, as well as the codec encoding decoding support, which the 2060 is going to be good for that. It has the good encoding decoding support, which I'm looking for. So for me, this is actually as almost as appealing as the 3060.
Yeah.
For my own needs.
So what they're saying is it could be ready by the end of 2021 and then debut early next year, which would be like actually pretty quick. I mean, that's only 4 months away. So
yeah,
that would be pretty cool. I think price wise, I mean, okay, pricing on video cards, that's like a whole other topic, but
as you know,
MSRP, I mean, you'd think it would be less than the 3060, which MSRP was starting at $329 US, I think. So what are we thinking? Like $279 MSRP? Somewhere in there?
That
$250?
Yeah.
I mean, the $329 turns into, for the 3060 turns into $429, into $529.
I
plus
think
a little bit more.
You know, if they were able to release it at $249 US, that would be cool.
Yeah.
But the problem is, if there's only so many of them, it's still gonna, why sell for cheap if it's still gonna be limited? Like, it depends on how much stock they have.
Well, yeah, and what I've been reading too is, I mean, we're still in for a GPU shortage for the next little bit, but there are some plants being built. I think we may have talked about, like, several episodes ago about some new plants being built, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, we did, but I think we had talked about.
I know there are plants being built, yeah, and to help with that. So I don't know. It'll be kind of a cool.
And I'll note that the 2060, I think, is still, like, the 1060 series, and I think the 2060 as well, I think, are hot sellers. Even though if you look on the Steam list of popular GPUs, I think these are very high on the list, and I think they're very good for 1080p gaming. You can do like high settings, 1080p gaming. You can do 1440 as well gaming, but like they're just for the average gamer who just wants to not really think about it. It's affordable. These actually sell well.
Well, so, I can do like I can get pretty decent specs if I'm gaming on my 1070, and yourself as well.
Yeah.
So this would be great if you're just, I mean, if you're not going for the big 4K gaming build.
And again, when you look at the majority of monitors used on the Steam analytics there, the majority is 1080p screens. It's like largely 1080p screens. So most people are gaming on 1080p anyway.
Yeah.
So Yeah, these there's some 1440p, like that's but and then 4K I think was quite limited
You
for
bought a
gaming.
4K monitor, didn't you?
I did, and I bought it for more editing purposes, not gaming. But I actually find it too much.
Yeah.
I actually
Can
struggle with it.
can your 1070 like can you game in 4K? Have you tried or?
I can, but I get like 30 frames per second.
Gotcha.
So I can, and I can lower settings and get it. But
And then what would you get in 1080p gaming on the same game?
oh, I would get like 100 frames, 120 frames per second, depending on the game. But I would get
Yeah.
like 100
Like
plus
just
frames per
for
second.
like the same game, it doesn't matter what game. Like so it's
Yeah.
that much of a drop. Interesting. So, well, yeah, it'll be interesting to see the next few months, more news on this, and hopefully it helps relieve some of the shortages of GPUs.